This is not to say that the Celtics have the only good fans around, because whatever Houston fans lack in experience, they certainly make up for with their enthusiasm.
No, I don't believe it. Rockets, NBA, all right.
Just love them, always have.
Hey, man, it's surprise team of the year.
Well, we didn't think they'd make it this far, truthfully, but now that they have, we're really behind them.
I think they're great, and just glad to be here to witness it, because I know they're going to win today.
Go Rockets! Yeah!
At a Rocket game, the Summit sports enough red and gold to shame even a New England countryside in October. The arena is filled with posters, pennants, T-shirts, banners, and every other artifact imaginable to indicate the fans' support of their team. This is basketball's down-home style.
Good.
You can bet Del Harris and his team were glad to return home from Boston. All of that Celtic green can make a guy see red. As the teams lined up for the sixth game of the series, the biggest question mark was Larry Bird. In the third, fourth, and fifth contests, Bird averaged less than 10 points a game. And for the Rockets to force a seventh game, they would have to stop him again.
Of the NBA World Championship Finals as the 9th straight sellout here in the Summit. The Houston Rockets playing host to the Boston Celtics. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. The Celtics, with a win tonight, could clinch their 14th title in the last 25 years. But the Cinderella team this year has been the Houston Rockets. And thus far, throughout the playoffs, they have never lost 2 games back-to-back. What are they going to have to do to stay alive in this championship final? We talked to Coach Del Harris.
Well, we got to be very aggressive tonight. We got to be very aggressive to the board and on the defense, and very alert. And if we do that, we won't foul, because we do have to stay out of foul trouble so that the substitutions aren't dictated by the scorebook. And then offensively, we have to stay very disciplined. We'll look for the fast break if it's perfect. We'll look for the early open shot if it's perfect. If it's not perfect, then we're going to wait for the big fella, and we'll try to hammer it in. And if we don't get that, we'll take what they give us for that. Clock goes buzz.
That big fella, of course, being Moses Malone. And 2 men alongside me, Bill Russell and Rick Barry. Bill, you told me before the start of this game, you really got to have a plan at this stage.
Yeah, Gary, you got to remember, it is a good thought, a kind word, and a baseball bat will get you more than a good thought and a bad than a good thought. But what I'm saying is they've got to have a plan, because you can't go in this game depending on emotion. You have got to have a plan. Now, what Houston has to do is come out there. They have got to control the boards, period. They got to control the offensive board because they have not shot well. They got to control the defensive board to keep the Celtics from fast breaking.
Okay, Rick Barry, we kind of have a similar thing here. The Rockets lost by 23 on Saturday. They came back to win. They got beat by 29 Tuesday. What are they going to have to do to come back again?
Well, Del Harris told you what they have to do, Gary, but they were able to do that in those other 2 games because the Celtics did not do their job. They weren't prepared. They admit that. They did not control their defensive boards. They were sloppy handling the ball, had over 20 turnovers in both games. If the Celtics come out ready to play, they should win this game and their 14th title.
What about psychologically, Bill? Who's in the best situation right now?
Well, it depends on the team. Now, the Rockets have got to come out with the attitude, the Celtics will have to beat us one more time, and they're not going to do it. If they come out with that attitude, then they will have an edge, because the Celtics, everyone expected them to win 4 straight, or at most 5. And every game that the series continues, the question is, what's wrong with you guys?
Okay, let's check now. First, the Boston Celtics starting lineup. As you can see, Maxwell, Bird, Parrish, Archibald, and Ford for Coach Bill Fitch. And the Houston Rockets with Robert Reid, Billy Pultz, Moses Malone, Mike Dunleavy, and Tom Henderson. The Rockets will be without Calvin Murphy. As you look at Jack Madden and Jake O'Donnell, the alternate is Paul Mahalik. Mike Dunleavy, Chris Ford jumping out on him. 6 seconds on the shot clock, and Moses Malone gets the Houston Rockets started.
Well, that time they were much more patient with their offense. They didn't rush things. They didn't try.
Archibald off to Larry Bird. Bird having a tough time with his shooting game. Look at Cedric Maxwell. Rebound, Moses Malone.
In the last game also, should try to get himself an easier one or a layup to get off.
Billy Paul sits at 32% in the last 6. And a foul.
Cedric Maxwell called for an offensive foul, holding Moses.
The team that's had the most turnovers is the team that is
Robert Reid able to save. It had been touched by the Boston Celtics. No backcourt. Dunleavy, this crowd is really alive right now. Moses Malone brings it down. He got it in despite a partial block by Robert Parrish. And it comes to Tiny Archibald. 9 minutes, 50 seconds left in this first period. Still, the Celtics haven't scored. Now they have, as Robert Parrish has scored 18 points in the last 2 games. 2 times out. Ford from outside. Parrish with another rebound. And Parrish has scored all 4 points for Boston.
And Bob Parrish has really been a factor for the Celtics in
one game, 14 in another. But he's been around now. Robert Reid. Reid has been struggling from the field. Carol Dawson, the assistant coach of Houston, said if we could just shoot 45% the next 2 games, we could win it. Archibald has tied it up for their points, and then quickly the Boston Celtics explode at the other end of the floor. Billy Parrish using that glass effectively, and the Rockets lead by 2.
getting the rebound every time Boston gets 1 shot. They're into their game.
And this is their game, getting it down inside to the big guy. Moses Malone with 6 points, 10-6 lead for the Houston Rockets.
Or take the three-pointer. Don't just stand there in no man's land.
Cedric Maxwell, beautiful play on his part. Maxwell, these first 2 points. Back to Mike again. Larry Bird brings it down, and Dunleavy, who had 28 points in that win Sunday, not hitting from outside. Maxwell up to Robert Parrish, and he is dead-eye from outside.
Able to get the ball out, and they got a good opportunity shot by Parrish that time.
We're all even, 10-10. Reid with Maxwell on in. Robert Reid uses the screen by Paulson, hits it. Robert Reid, who's been struggling as far as his shooting is concerned.
No, he wouldn't like to be in uniform, not with that shoulder.
Foul inside. The Celtics earlier today were really not sure as Reid, but what a job he has done as far as rebounding is concerned, as he has averaged 15.8 rebounds and 7.4 assists.
All right, he's really done a fine job moving the ball around and getting the other people involved, and that's what you have to try to do, contribute in some way when the offense isn't going well for you.
If he keeps that assist average up, that'll be a playoff record for forwards. Here is Mike Dunleavy. 12-12 are scored. Dunleavy thus far 1 for 4 from the field. Larry Bird. Bird comes up with yet another rebound. To Maxwell. There's the Celtic fast break. And a loose ball foul will go on Larry Bird.
We criticized him for not calling close enough.
Billy Paul's missing. Bird with a rebound. 5 minutes to go, first period. Bird already with 4 in this game. Here is Parrish. Robert Parrish, and Parrish now with 8.
Parrish made a great play on that. That ball was thrown, if it was thrown to him indeed.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Reid. There's Parrish bringing it down. Up it comes to Chris Ford. Ford to Maxwell. Out it comes to Ford. Good ball movement. Larry Bird. And Maxwell with a beautiful follow tip. Maxwell now with 4 points. 16-12, the biggest lead for the Celtics. Houston led by as many as 6, and we have a technical foul on Del Harris.
Play when Maxwell tapped it in and got the technical.
Archibald with a technical free throw. There is Del. He's still looking to get on the scoring column. Ford with the steal. Up to Larry Bird. Here comes Boston on the move. Robert Parrish, remember, he's over 7 foot making that kind of a move. Moses Malone rips it down. Boston has had the break, Bill, but they're not really utilizing it when they get down there under the basket. 11-2. Boston has outscored Houston on this last run to take the 17-12 lead, and a foul on the baseline.
Robert Parrish again.
That's his second. And the Celtics, and that's what he's done earlier, and now against the Celtics in the championship series. Very interesting. You have to study that. Or
Kansas City, when Sam Lacey went out, they didn't have anyone to guard him. In this case, they have 2 or 3 guys that can do a fairly effective job.
The Rockets got it back, and Parrish picked up the foul. If he had known where the ball was, he could have had a loose ball. Henderson with the good penetration.
Tom Henderson with his first 2 points. 19-16. Maxwell up to Tiny. Tiny will try one. Archibald. The Celtics the last time on the fast break scored 33 points in that 29-point win in the Boston Garden. Archibald looking like he wants to shoot the ball. He hasn't been shooting all that much. Bird is there. Larry Bird horses it in. He has 4 points. Fitch, who had that sciatic nerve, has been really bothering him. Dunleavy now hits. After going 0 for 4, Dunleavy gets one. 23-18. Henderson. Bird is back. 3-on-1. Robert Reid. And all of a sudden it's a 3-point game. 23-20. Larry Bird, who wants to get a little more involved in the offense. Broken up. Maxwell. And Cedric, a little nest area of his right around the basket, gives the Celtics a 5-point lead. And that's the reason, Bill, he was 3rd in the NBA with a 59 percentile. And loose ball foul. Larry Bird coming across. 25-22. Much different than what we saw Tuesday night. Roby, as now there's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Archibald on the move. Rebound, Reid. You see the time left. Robert Reid makes it a 1-point game. 25-24. Reid with 6 points. And the Houston Rockets are very much in the thick of things right now. As Rick Barry will analyze the first few games of this series, as Larry Bird now has 6 points. Here's Willoughby. Willoughby had a high of 14 points earlier in this series. Look at Reid. Reid skies up very high, and the rebound by Bird. Here's Maxwell. Ford. He set up at the 3-point area, now takes it inside. Chris Ford.
And got a shooter's bounce.
You can hear Del Harris yelling red. That meant 10 seconds on the shot clock when he says that. Malone. Willoughby. And he walked to the ball. Larry Bird is not shooting very well. You would figure he would be that primary shooter. Chris Ford. Good defensive play off to Tiny Archibald. 0 for 6. They're only shooting 37% for the entire series, and no team has shot below 40% in a championship series. High school player. Robert Reid, quick move. Reid powering inside, and Reid with 8 points. Because if Boston turns them over too much, they've been in trouble in this series thus far. Maxwell just doing some hard-nosed work inside the NBA. They want this season to continue to Sunday. Henderson. Willoughby tries to follow. Roby brings it down. That's the kind of work Roby's been doing. Hard-nosed work. Off to Cedric Maxwell.
Henderson got away with it that time. He pushed off on that play.
Maxwell pushing off, elbowing, committing the foul. That's his 2nd personal. Inside 8 minutes remaining until halftime. Henderson off to Reid. Reid against Ford now. Ford 3 inches shorter.
Good interception.
Look at Malone. Malone working the board.
Hawks intercepted that.
Archibald, Henderson jumping out on him. Tiny, beautiful pass to Roby.
Excellent penetration move. Nice pass, too. And Roby made the smart move and was
3 assists in the last game, which was a low for the series. Bill Willoughby. Willoughby getting some confidence back after struggling in the last game. He had those stuff shots Tuesday that really took his confidence away. Larry Bird.
one of the few times Larry's been left wide open at the...
And of course, that change coming when Reid moved out to the guard spot. Moses Malone, and now it's 35-32. Again for Boston, but the Houston Rockets have asked for a timeout. 6:31 to go, the 2nd period of play. Boston with a 35-32 lead. Nice pass intended for Reid, but Bird was there. He anticipated. Archibald, Rick Roby. Okay, Roby used that left hand as much as he does his natural right hand. Kevin McHale is checked in, playing tough on Willoughby. Here's Robert Reid. There's McHale. McHale in one game has been in double figures, hasn't played all that much. ML Carr. There's the Celtic fast break. Anderson off to Willoughby. Reid, Carr reaching in, but Robert Reid continues on his way. Makes makes it 39-34. Reid now in double figures with 10. Boston is led by Bird with 8, and also Maxwell. Tiny Archibald. McHale tried to follow tip, but look how tough it is on the boards. ML Carr. Carr's made 2 fine reverse layups here.
That's good hustle on the part of the Celtics. They kept that.
A 7-point lead in the first period, and now with a 7-point advantage, Henderson. Malone follows. I believe it's Malone that will get credit for the basket. And record attendance this year for the Rockets in the Summit. They're excited. 4 minutes left in the second period. Billy Paultz with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Reid, 3, 2. Reid hit it. It will count, and a foul underneath the basket.
A little bit, they battle back and get into contention. Now there you see Willoughby fighting, and look at McHale. He grabbed him with the arm, and that's what the foul was.
Well, I saw those guys laying around out there. I wonder what's the excuse for that.
It's now a 2-point game. Pick up those 3 quick fouls. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Bird is fouled. He faked Willoughby up and got hit pretty hard. So many times, both as a player and as a coach. Larry Bird makes it 43-39. 8, 6, and with 5 on the shot clock. And now Jake O'Donnell indicating inside a foul. It's in the first game. Then he struggled. He had 2 points in one in the other. He came back to play very well in the last game as he was able to contribute. You can hardly hear it, so loud here. Enthusiastic crowd with 3 minutes in this first half, and Bird hit a tough shot.
He'll know it when he's got it.
12 points now for Bird. Reid inside. He made some quick moves. He's headed for a big night here in the Summit. Rick Roby. Billy Paultz tried to block it, and Roby just powered it in. 47-43. Roby with 6 points. Pretty good percentage shots. There's Reid. Carr with his hands on him, but Reid hits it anyway. Robert Reid right now is red hot. 18 points. He's really playing with a positive attitude. He loses it there. Calvin Garrett now is checked in for the Houston Rockets for the first time. He's 0-0. McHale. Kevin McHale over Billy Paultz. Paultz upset about that play. 49-45. McHale with his first 2. The Rockets much better than they've been shooting the series. Moses Malone. Malone was 16. What a 1-2 punch from Reid and Malone. Roby out to ML Carr. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Carr takes on Malone. That'll be offensive interference. Kevin McHale. That will not count. We're out of it in the early going Tuesday night, but not tonight. Larry Bird brings it down. To say he's a better player than Reid is defensively. Now playing Bird tough. Larry ML Carr. Nice power move by the 6'6" guard forward. He has 6 points. The time remaining in the first half. Archibald. Somebody must have looked the wrong way. He took advantage of it.
Relationship. You must know where the ball and your man are at all times, and someone didn't know what was happening, and the man walked in for a layup.
3-point.
A classic case of overthinking.
Basketball game. Be sure to stay with us at halftime. A look back at the previous 5 and a feature on John Havlicek. NBA World Championship flag. If not, it's Game 7 Sunday. Cornbread Maxwell, and Maxwell starts him out.
And he really was leading things out there.
55-47. Dudley, who started out slowly, starts the second half in reverse fashion.
Here they want to win this game.
Cornbread with Moses on him. They double team him, and that leaves Bird. And Bird with a reverse makes it 57-49. Larry with 14. And Bird coming back offensively in this game. Henderson on the move, and he is fouled. Game earlier this year, 8 of them in one half. And it's back to a 6-point lead. Larry Bird. Nice pass to Maxwell, and he is fouled. Larry Bird, looks like Reid came down on the side of his foot. Reid seems to be okay. He reties the shoe. Cedric Maxwell makes it 58-51. To show you, who has 3 fouls. Didn't see a lot of action in that first half of play. In fact, he only played 9 minutes. Here's Billy Paultz. Sweeping hook by the Whopper. That's just another in a long succession of them. Here's Ford. Nice pass to Maxwell. And Cedric Maxwell now with 13 points. And he has come out in the second half to score points in a hurry, picking up 5. Shot clock. Here's Tiny, who had those 9 assists in the first half. Maxwell off to Robert Parrish. Paultz staying tough on him, but Parrish dead center with another one. Beautiful jumper. He has 12 points. Moses Malone. Malone having trouble. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Parrish brings it down. Filling the lane, also Ford, but they hold it up. Larry Bird. Bird is 4 of 10 in the first half. Now
timeout. Yes.
Here is Malone. He's had a tough time, but a lot of that pressure put on by Boston has made it difficult. Dunleavy hits from outside.
Just playing. They got to get back to the plan.
And they've whittled it to 9.
That's the first miss for Boston this quarter.
Well, that's pretty good shooting, I would say, with 7:58 left in this period. 3, 2, and Malone. Tough miss by Moses Malone. He had a lot of spin on the ball that time. Malone in on Parrish. Billy Paultz reaching over, and Paultz has committed the foul.
Ball inside.
And Archibald, there's Dunleavy down again. Chris Ford hitting. Those are the ones that really drive you crazy, the lane violation. Billy Paultz tries to follow his own. Here comes Cornbread. Look at Reid get back on defense. Reid hustling. Chris Ford, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish.
Hey, that was some pass by Bird, left-handed behind the back, and that was not a hot dog fancy pass.
Houston, he's played very well in this series. There's Dunleavy again. Robert Reid, look at him get up. Robert Reid now has 20 points his first. Level gets a pick by Malone. To Reid, Billy Paultz, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Look at the quickness of Level to Billy Paultz. Nice pass by Level.
So that they can get inside and get a pretty good shot off.
He does what Archibald does for Boston.
Where they had a do-or-die wind facing them.
Bird in trouble, was able to get it out to Chris Ford, and Ford.
That'll get you out of trouble every time.
Jarring pick. Dunleavy to Robert Reid. Reid is playing his whale of the game, 22 points. Lowest seasonal average. Part of that due to the injury. And Billy Paultz has a hot hand. Paultz now has 4 field goals in this period. The noise level. Larry Bird, that basket will count, and he's fouled. Robert Reid committing the foul, and Bird with a chance for a 3-point play.
Has good position by Bird. Bobby Joe playing behind him. Goes up for the shot. Robert obviously bumped him with the bodies, what the call was.
Allen level. Malone just powers up for the rebound. Parrish playing a good defense. Bird brings down the rebound. Larry Bird this year was 8th in the NBA in free throw percentage, so you don't expect him to miss very many. Backing up on Reid, off balance shot, but he hit it anyway.
Great shot by Bird.
20 points, and that, by the way, is the high for this playoff, this championship playoff for Larry Bird. He had 18 and 19, and that's the first time he's been at the 20 level. It's hard to believe that this Houston team was beaten by 29 points on Tuesday, wasn't it? What a complete adjustment they've made, and Archibald is fouled on the move. And that foul going on Level, his first. Shaken up a little bit by that pick. Got a elbow to the midsection. Reid on the middle. Bird brings it down. Bird out to Cedric Maxwell. A minute 10 left in this period. Maxwell to Ford. Chris Ford has hit 3 key baskets in this period.
Baseball pass, left-handed.
80-67 Malone. That basket will not count. Going to have a foul on Moses.
See the outlet pass that Bill was just talking.
It's not so much strength as technique, the way he got it out on that. Parrish. Dunleavy off to Level. Intended for Malone. Parrish comes up with it. And now they'll slow it down and take the last shot of this period.
And they needed that basket bad.
There's Level going for the steal. It's off of Level. 11 seconds in this third period. The Celtics climbing closer to what they hope is their 14th NBA World Championship flag. There's the time left in this third period. What a tradition Boston has, and they're trying to add to it. Archibald, a remarkable shot.
That hurt
the period.
That hurt bad.
As now Boston has made a run of 10-2 to take this 15-point lead of 82-67. This CBS Sports Special will continue after this word from your local station.
Coming down, Willow.
would say up mountain struggle, not hill.
Maxwell into Parrish. Parrish against Malone, and Robert Parrish hits another two. He has 16. Tom Henderson, Gerald Henderson, who's come in to pick him up. Bill Willoughby, Maxwell up in his face. Rebound, Tom Henderson off to Moses Malone, and look at the traffic. Foul against the Boston Celtics.
And they're 8 for 29 on those so far through 3 quarters.
It does look a bit grim, right?
In there right now. Ford, Henderson. Here is Henderson. Robert Parrish tips it out. Tom Henderson comes down with it. Henderson, beautiful drive, and he's fouled.
That ought to do it, but this team doesn't give up.
They really haven't. That's the reason they're in this championship series. Now it's that 14-point spread that you mentioned. So no basket. 84-70. Bill Willoughby. Malone follows, and now it's a 12-point game. Tom Henderson out to Willoughby. Calvin Garrett, difficult shot. 10-point game.
They've only scored one time.
So Del Harris's team, who was trailing by as many as 17 in this fourth period, now have a
Dual skills, and it's working for them.
7 minutes now left in the game. Willoughby with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Robert Reid with 4. It's an 8-point game, and this place has erupted again. Larry Bird. The Celtics now 1 of 7 from the field. Maxwell blocked. Gerald Henderson trying to get out of there alive. And Reid comes up with it. Houston now has a chance to cut it to 6. Reid off to Calvin Garrett. It's a 6-point game. Incredible come from behind by this Houston team. Boston is called for a timeout. The Celtics, with 6:20 to go, are not into that championship picture yet. Ball, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Tiny trying to get away from Tom Henderson. In a little bit of trouble. 3 seconds. 2 with 1. Rebound. Who's got it? It's going to be out of the Boston Celtics. Period. Bill Willoughby. Look at Reid trying to shake Chris Ford. Willoughby with 9 seconds on the shot clock to Robert Reid. Reid, who has 24 points and a foul. Finals. And they don't want it to end now. Reid makes it 84-79.
Good shot, Peter.
To Larry Bird. Parrish, he's going to try to do something about it and does, and that was a big basket for Boston. Every seconds on the shot clock. Garrett with Bird on him. Back to Willoughby, and he's fouled by Cedric Maxwell.
Oh, and that is just not a good foul. Bill Fitch can't believe it. A bad shot, tough shot actually by Willoughby in that situation.
3 days it seems left to play.
And they're going to pick them up. They've got the 22 trap defense, and that's the 3-quarter trapping defense.
6 seconds on the shot clock. 4. Broken up. Willoughby to Henderson. Tom Henderson. It's now 86-83, a 3-point game. Garrett with his first personal foul. Larry Bird, and he's going to hit those pressure shots now. 88-83, 4 minutes left as you see it. Reaches in on Garrett. They'll be able to bring it back across, but they only have 9 seconds on the shot clock. Henderson charging on Tom Henderson.
And Larry Bird is the man that drew the foul. He saw the play coming.
They're yelling to his team with 3:37 left. Larry Bird again. Oh, as he hits some pressure-packed shots.
Well, that's why the man, I think, is a great player, because he's not afraid to do that.
Time now starting to get away from this Houston team. Bird committing a foul, a 2-shot foul.
But I'll tell you, he did a smart thing there, too, Bill, because once he fouled him, that's right, he made sure that the guy wasn't going to get the shot off to have it.
Because it's be very easy, but this team is not going to quit.
I tell you, this guy is really good. Calvin Garrett has come in and played well. 90-85. Garrett with 6 points, all of them in this fourth quarter. Timeout now by Boston.
And that's their last timeout. They only have a 22nd one left out. Good pressure.
That was good defense, but then the rebound by Boston. Now they have it down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. He palmed the basketball. Bird turned it over. So Houston gets it anyway, now with 2:37 left. They've got to be horsed by now. Henderson off to Calvin Garrett. Again, what a job he's done. Bill Willoughby, Moses Malone, and Malone is fouled. 86. Well, Malone, with the aid of the penalty, cuts it to 3. Playing with great savvy, great heart. Archibald to Ford, and Reid reaches in and commits the foul. That's going to be his fourth. There's Gavin Maloof again. What?
You see 14 fouls, I believe, now.
Cedric Maxwell.
Boy, that's a big play by Maxwell. That pass wasn't exactly right on the money, Bill.
Willoughby to Garrett. Calvin Garrett. Dead center. 92-89. Garrett with 8 points. Offset. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Larry Bird wants a three-pointer. A three-point shot by Larry Bird. He's hit 3 of them down the stretch. In your veins, and he's shown in this game. 27 points for Bird. Reid misses. Reid with another chance. Parrish says it's going to be goaltending. The basket will count. Bird with 27. Also Reid with 27. Malone with 23.
Big offensive rebound on the part of Moses Malone, and we got a 2-shot backcourt foul by Willoughby.
Cedric Maxwell with 15 points. And now Maxwell adds background. He's flipping that yellow pad over, trying to find a new play or something as he's asked for a timeout. Tom Henderson. Out to Calvin Garrett. Garrett against Maxwell. Larry Bird tried to follow, and coming away with it is Chris Ford, trying to protect it after Robert Parrish with a minute left now. The Celtics a minute away from it, and there's a steal by Calvin Garrett. Garrett's with the steal after Reid. Henderson back to Robert Reid, and Ford comes up with it. And a foul will go on Robert Reid, and that now with 9 points. And now 1. 99-91. Houston asks for another timeout. World's title.
You know, things have changed so much that the referees are now making as much as I used to make.
You're making it up now, Bill. There's the time left. Three-pointer. Dunleavy, the man we expected to shoot it. He was 3 of 6 prior to that one. And I want to tell you, I cannot say enough for this Houston Rockets team. They haven't. But they have.
Now they let themselves, not on purpose, of course, get too far behind tonight to catch up.
Houston had to win a 3rd game in LA. They had to win a 3rd game in San Antonio. They have played this Boston team extremely well. You just can't say enough for them.
A world champion.
But 2 years ago, they won, what, 29 games? There's Fernston, who comes in with the steal, and so the Boston Celtics are going to be the 1981 NBA World Champions. Their 14th flag in the last 25 years. There's a foul now on Mike Dunleavy. The fans are up applauding a moment ago, and one thing they have done, they have made Houston a basketball city. People here are looking forward to next year, and this man, our MVP this year by CBS, Allen level. Fernston brings it down. You see 2 seconds, 1, and the world champions, the Boston Celtics. And so, the Celtics with their 14th flag. We will be presenting the trophy. Joining the Commissioner, Larry O'Brien, will be in the presentation area. We'll also be going to Rick Barry. And let's go to Rick now.
At the end, Larry, there's a lot of talk about the great defense done on you. Your shooting wasn't going real well, but you really came back with a super performance. How do you feel about having come so close in college, and now you're in the pros, you've got the big one?
No, this is a very big one for us. We practiced awful hard this year. We stuck together. When going got tough, we came through. They came back on us, but not good enough.
Well, they're taking care of Larry here. He's the man who did it. Larry, what was going through your mind at the end there when your team was struggling and the Rockets made that gallant comeback and you just took over?
Well, I knew if we just made a couple baskets and kept our poise, we'd come through like always. Guys just kept on playing hard. We got a couple baskets, and we done it.
Well, this is one of the dangers of being in the winning locker room. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rick.
You're going to deserve it. Let's get Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish. Well, they're taking care of a little business with Robert. Robert, you had a great game out there, and you were the fellow that got him going early, and you came back after that foul trouble. How does it feel to have it all?
It feels very good. I'm happy to win it all. It's that.
Okay, let Robert go and dry off a little bit. Let's get some of these other players. ML, come on in here. I see you said you're going to do what you had to do to win, and you did it.
We went out and we played. We played the game the way the Celtics are supposed to play. Got to be the happiest moment of our life. Rick, I have a ring like you now.
All right, ready to go.
Okay.
Great job. Nice going. Cedric, come here, Cedric. Cedric Maxwell, the man who was voted the most valuable player by Sport Magazine. Take care. Cedric, your feelings?
Hold on.
Bill Fitch has said, hold on for a second. He wants to say something to his ball club. Bill Fitch to his ball club.
Bill, where's Bill out? Get in here, everybody. Hold up, everybody.
We played together and we prayed harder together. Listen, bow your head silently.
Yeah, the prayer.
Thank God for all the blessings that we've had. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, you heard it. Bill Fitch and his team. Cedric, get back over here. Hey, Cedric, I'll tell you one thing. I really admire the way that you admitted the fact that you weren't ready after that second ball game in Boston, and you came back to really inspire this ball club. How does it feel to have been able to accomplish that?
Rick, it's a tremendous feeling. You know how it is when you win the World Championship. And by all means, everybody's standing up just cheering. I'm just lost for words. It's just a tremendous feeling.
Listen, enjoy it.
All right.
Tiny.
Hey, Mom! Hey, Mom, I'm home!
All right. Tiny, come here, Tiny. Tiny Archibald. Little man here, but a big man out in the court. The man who directed the attack. Super job out there, Tiny. Had 9 assists in the first half. You've been hurting all this series with the leg. How do you feel about winning it?
Well, I thought we had to keep our poise tonight. I knew they was going to come out fired up. It was just going to be, hopefully, their last game. And we played well. We tried to run the fast break and execute and just go at them. That's all. Just go at them.
How much does the leg really bother you?
Well, you see, I didn't penetrate as much as I could, but I just try to pick my spots and try to keep the team going. And that's my job, Rick, not to score anymore, but keep the team going. And I'm glad we just won.
Hey, listen, join the fellas. Everybody's going out. They've all left the locker room because they're having the trophy presentation, and Bill Fitch wants his entire team to join that presentation. And so we'll go to Gary right now for that.
Okay, Rick, thank you very much. We'll be having the presentation of the World Championship Trophy, as we'll have Commissioner Larry O'Brien with us, also Red Auerbach, along with Bill Fitch. The world champion Boston Celtics. You saw the excitement in the dressing room. They've now come out here into the trophy presentation area. We have with us the Commissioner, Lawrence O'Brien.
Thanks, Harry. First of all, I'm sure nobody will mind. Let's say a good word for the Houston Rockets. They did a terrific job, and they're doing right. And the people of Houston should be proud of them. Gavin Maloof wants to shake hands with Harry Mangorian and congratulate him, the owner of the Rockets, the owner of the Celtics. And now, for the 14th time in the history of the NBA, the world champion. Go right out! Go right out! Red Auerbach, Bill Fitch, and all the players. Will Harry Mangorian come over here? Harry? I'm going to let you hold it. To the world champions, the world trophy, you are truly the champions of the world once again. And here we go.
Well, thank you.
And this belongs to you permanently, Harry.
That's a new one! Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish.
All right, let's bring Harry. Do you have something you'd like to say?
Well, I would like to say that it's really been a wonderful season. We have wonderful players, a wonderful coach, and of course, Red, this is old stuff for him, but it's new for me.
Well, let's bring in the coach, Bill Fitch. Bill, I think Bill, does your back feel a little better right now?
It does, Gary. I just want to tell you this for all those who got bad backs. It's not perfect yet. I threw it out going down and shake hands with Dell.
Oh, did you really?
Yep.
Well, I tell you, though, what a battle. What a series.
Oh, these guys have had 2 great seasons, and it's been no nights off, not much rest. And if a team ever celebrated, this one deserves to celebrate, because this is our first night off like in 2 years. And I'd like to say that we all had a great deal of respect for Houston and for that basketball team that's sitting in the Houston locker room. It was a great series, and we're just proud to have that championship trophy because of the amount of talent we had to beat to get it.
All right.
notice here, Red Auerbach has his victory cigar out. Red, did you ever get tired of this?
Never, never, never. And I'll tell you one thing. We got off the 13, we're on the 14. They were simply tremendous. They really showed a lot of character all the way through. I think Fitch, Harry, the ball players, they all came through. I'm so proud of them, like any other championship. Yahoo!
That sums it up very well. Hey, Red, when did you light that cigar? Did you light it to the last second?
No, the last minute.
Okay, now we go to a place that's a little more somber, but a team that has to be very proud, and a coach likewise. Let's go to Rick Barry. He's with Coach Del Harris.
Del, we certainly appreciate you coming out. This, of course, has to be a successful season, regardless of the fact that you lost today. Your feelings on this series?
Well, I'm proud of our players for the finish that they made during the season and in the playoffs, and specifically tonight. I thought that they showed a lot of heart out there. So my hat's off to our players and the Houston Rocket organization, but it's certainly to the Boston Celtics, their fine organization, and Coach Bill Fitch and his fine players. I, as a coach, am indebted to Bill Fitch and people like him, Jack Ramsey, Cotton Fitzsimmons, and Dick Motta, who pioneered the way for college coaches to get into the NBA, and the subsequent fellows, which are many, who've come in and made it possible for a person like myself to have a part of this wonderful thing called the NBA.
Well, thank you very much, Del, and I'm sure that we'll see you around for many years. Let's go back to Gary.
Okay, Rick. What excitement here as this 1980-81 season has come to a close. The MVP is Cedric Maxwell, who had 24 points, 28 in the game that they won Tuesday, and coming back so strong in this game tonight as the Boston Celtics are the 1981 NBA World Champion.
But Larry Bird would not be stopped, not on this night. After a frustrating series, Bird found his lost shooting touch and with it regained the rest of his game. When Bird is hot, he is nearly impossible to defend. In the sixth game, Robert Reid tried everything, but even when Reid forced a miss, Bird managed to score.
And Bob, you're 100% on Larry Bird. Now wait a minute.
Reid had actually outscored Bird in the first half, but Del Harris felt that Reid's defensive play should come first.
Whenever somebody releases a shot, I want you putting a rear end on him. He's got 2 offensive rebounds already. Don't want him to have any more.
But what Del Harris wanted was not at all what Larry Bird had in mind. If number 33 wasn't shooting, he was passing. Or rebounding. Larry grabbed 13 missed shots in Game 6 to lead the Celtics in that category. But it was on the offensive end of the floor that his presence was most significant. Bird's 8 third-quarter points turned a nip-and-tuck game into a sizable Boston advantage. With an NBA title at stake, Del Harris called time to regroup.
We get out there. All right, now look, we got to take our time on offense. We're behind, but we don't want to get in a hurry. We got to get the points by executing.
Execute. With the season on the line, Del Harris went back to basics. The Celtic lead actually got as large as 17 points, but Houston was ready for one final stand. Calvin Garrett's hot shooting off the bench led the way, and the lead was cut to 6. The Rockets were back in it, and they were on a tear. This time it was Bill Fitch and the Celtics who needed a breather. When play resumed, the Celtics got the ball to Larry Bird, and he knew what to do with it. With only a minute and a half left, Bird hit this three-pointer, and the Celtic lead went from 3 to 6. Now every possession counted. Robert Reid missed from inside the lane, but somehow he got his own rebound and the benefit of a goaltending call. The lead was back to 4. But that was as close as it got. Cedric Maxwell scored 4 points in the final minute and 20 seconds to guarantee the Celtics victory and sew up the MVP award for himself. Now all the Celtics had to do was hold on.
You still have 20 seconds. You handle the basketball defensively. You saw where they're going for a three-pointer. Cover, put a hand up, but you rebound with 5 guys. Now listen, you're 1 rebound away from letting a smile on my face. I swear, if you're going to rebound, I'll smile.
In the old days, with only seconds on the clock, Coach Red Auerbach's lit cigar meant another championship. But these days, Boston players will settle for a smile from their coach. With time running out and the Celtics playing keep away, it was easy to imagine another group of Celtics from a different era doing exactly the same thing. The names and faces have changed, but the uniforms are the same, and so are the results. Surely, this is a dynasty renewed.
I'd like to say that we all had a great deal of respect for Houston and for that basketball team that's sitting in the Houston locker room. It was a great series, and we're just proud to have that championship trophy because of the amount of talent we had to beat to get it. All right.
Red, did you ever get tired of this? Never, never, never. And I'll tell you one thing. We got off to 13, we're on to 14. They were simply tremendous. Fantastic. They really showed a lot of character all the way through. I think Fitch, Harry, the ball players, they all came through. I'm so proud of them, like any other championship. Yahoo!